Hello, Joe Witchurch here right before Memorial Day weekend. I'm not quite ready to leave the month of May yet. In fact, I'm not at all ready to leave the month of May. See my red E? This is red. I don't know if you can see the color on that, but it is red and it's a red E, and I'm not ready to leave the month of May yet. Why? Well, because I think May has a lot of positive things for us to consider. By positive, I mean good, and things that lead to flourishing and to truth and to thought about what is meaningful, leads to love and to flourishing and to life and to healthy relationships. So I want to just point out three of them in May. First is Mother's Day. Mother's Day is a great big deal. I don't know if you know it or not, Father's Day is coming up in June. I guess Father's Day is the lowest attendance in Church Day. But Mother's Day tends to be a high one because people want to honor their mothers, or at least it seems to be hardwired into us by our Creator to want to honor women and honor motherhood and honor and protect young children. These are all very incredibly good things and things that we should be valuing in our culture. It values dignity, human dignity, the fact that the child is in the image of God, the mother is in the image of God. It seems to recognize that there are two sexes, two gender roles, and that children are a good thing, and motherhood and fatherhood, protection of the children, especially motherhood on Mother's Day, is worth celebrating. And yeah, that's just a good thing. I don't want us to ever get far from that in our thinking and our celebration. I know there are people today who are post-abortive and people that really get upset if you identify someone as a mother or as a female or such, but Mother's Day seems to encompass a lot of things that are true and valuable and are building blocks of our society, and I don't want to get away from it very far. Second thing is Peace Officer Memorial Day. Did you know there was a Peace Officer Memorial Day? It happens in the month of May. It actually was last Monday. What do I mean by a peace officer? I mean a police officer. I mean a person who helps enforce our laws, laws about drugs, laws about human trafficking, laws against murder and stealing and theft and fraud, and laws against people coming into your house that have no business on your property or into your immigration, drug trafficking, human trafficking, these kinds of things. So we're grateful for our peace officers, and especially those who have given their lives to protect us, to preserve, to give public safety, and to protect. And it is because we value law and order and people that give their lives for such things. This is also a reflection, I believe, of a creational, hardwired into us by our Creator, value for law, for meaning, and for flourishing, and for boundaries. So Peace Officer Memorial Day, yeah, it's a good thing to remember. I know people can get upset about police, but it's no free ticket for assassinating them. And a lot have been actually assassinated for no particular reason, or because something bad happened somewhere else in the country. Doesn't make sense. Thank the police officers and other first responders for their service to us, and remember those that have given their lives. Thirdly is Memorial Day. Memorial Day is coming up this Monday. I think here, for us here in Indiana, a big thing with Memorial Day is this. See if you can figure out what I'm talking about. It's the Indianapolis 500. That's what we think about. But Memorial Day is where we remember those, particularly in our military, Air Force, Marines, Navy, Army, that have given the ultimate sacrifice to preserve our country. And so you see I'm wearing my red, white, and blue hat here today. You thought USA stood for United States of America. It stands for Unlimited Soteriological Apologetics. Just a joke, and it doesn't stand for that. So what is there about this country that's worthy of loving and protecting and giving one's life for? Well, there's a number of things. First of all, it is a democratic republic under the rule of law, with divided powers. These checks and balances are important. It's a worthy political experiment, which has led to a lot of flourishing. I'm not saying there's not corruption. I'm not saying there's not fraud. I'm glad for elections. I hope they're free and they have integrity. But this kind of government seems to be something that God has used to bless more than curse, versus strictly the law of survival of the fittest and conquest. Also, the fact that these divided powers and rights, our founding documents talk about our having certain inalienable rights that have been given to us by our Creator, not by a king, not by a democratic vote, not by the whim of the super rich or the otherwise powerful. Back to the survival. No, it's been these rights are inalienable, given to us by God. In the American version, or the USA version, it's codified in a Bill of Rights. Things like the right to life, the right to liberty, right to pursuit of happiness, right to freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, and other basic human rights that come really from God. And by the way, under freedom of religion, freedom to not be religious as well. We have the freedom of dignity and conscience, and these things are important. We remember people who have given their lives to preserve this form of government called the United States, and we're grateful for their service. And they reminded us of the person that gave the ultimate gift of life, not mothers, and not peace officers, and not military people, but the author of life, Jesus Christ, as described in the first paragraphs of John's Gospel, chapter 1. In him was life, and life was the light of all men, and nothing came into being, it has come into being except through him. And he was the Logos, who was in the beginning with God and was God. Reread these Gospels and consider things like Mother's Day, Peace Officer Memorial Day, and Memorial Day this weekend, and think about their significance, and yes, give thanks. I think you'll be glad you did. I think it'll lift your horizons and your spirits and your purpose and meaning and joy in life. Thanks.